Hello everyone. I wanted to add a disclaimer about EVNew, the only realistic escape velocity editor that I could use for my ports. I criticized it in my previous video because the interface, as you can see here, is all text. You have to keep your resource ID numbers in your head or put them in a notepad file, and so on, because you can't call up sprites, for example, directly from the ship editing menu like you can in EVEdit, which I much prefer, but which doesn't work with EVNova. There you have an example of the way you call up graphics without it. Editing systems is much more difficult. The ships, no, I don't mind so much, but editing systems, star systems in other words, is very difficult because you don't have a map. EVEdit had maps both for the stellars or the planets and for the star systems. So this is all numbers and text. You can figure this out, but it's much more time consuming and much more difficult, especially since you occasionally run into a bug. This is the map view, by comparison, in EVEdit. Overwhelmingly more modern and more user-friendly, even though this is a program from the 90s we're talking about. For comparison, this is what I would have to do to add that star system. And then I would have to check it by actually going into the program like this. And as you can see, I haven't completed the port yet. It's going to take a while. But that's the method I'm going to have to use. I'm going to have to change the numbers, check. Change the numbers, check. Change the numbers, check. Whereas I could do it in a few seconds if I had EVEdit for modern escape velocity editing. Now here's EVEdit, just for old time's sake. That's the title page of the documentation. But this is the interface for the different resource directories. And then this is an editor for the ships. Very easy to understand. And then if you call up the sprites, there's your sprite. And you can edit that very easily, whereas with EVNew you have to do a new sprite every time you change it. So I much prefer EVEdit, but I can't use it. Now Rezeditor is the main alternative to EVNew, but as you can see I just get an error message there if I try to open it. So if anybody knows the solution to this, please let me know. I would like to see if it has a better interface, of course.